planet Zalarian was not on any human map. It was hidden behind dust clouds, far beyond the outer colonies. No one ever planned to land there, but his ship had failed. Systems were damaged during a small meteor storm. There was no choice. He had to crash-land. Ethan was a junior engineer, just 25. Part of a mining crew heading to Kepler 19b. He wasn't a hero. He didn't carry weapons. He wasn't trained for war. When his escape pod landed hard on the dark surface of Zalarian, he thought he would die alone. But Zalarian was not empty. The sky was heavy with orange mist. Strange towers stood far away, glowing like golden glass, and there were sounds in the distance, deep, echoing voices and something like singing. He didn't understand it. It felt beautiful, but also dangerous. For hours he moved carefully through black rocks and glowing plants. His radio was dead. Food was low. He was trying to survive, but then the ground shook. He turned around, and froze. A tall figure was walking toward him. No, not just Talgia, and 20 feet tall, moving with slow, graceful steps. She was a woman, but clearly not human. Her skin was pale and smooth like marble. Her eyes glowed softly, golden like the towers in the distance. Long silk hair flowed down her back. She wore elegant armor, not heavy metal, but something light and glowing like ancient crystal. Ethan couldn't move. His legs felt weak. The air around her shimmered like heat. She looked down at him, her face calm, but her eyes full of something. Sadness. He thought she would crush him or shout, or call others. But instead, she did something completely strange. She knelt. The 20-foot alien queen knelt in front of a human nobody. He was too shocked to speak. Her voice came gently, like wind through glass. "Human," she said, "do you think I'm beautiful?" Ethan blinked. He thought it was a trap. He looked around. No weapons, no soldiers, no danger, only her. She was truly asking, waiting. I don't understand," he said. Her glowing eyes stayed on his. "Before your kind came, we were worshipped," she said. "We were stars, gods, rulers of 1,000 systems. Now, we are myths, lost, forgotten." Her fingers brushed the ground softly. "Your people fight, burn, take, but you looked at my world with awe. You did not run, you did not scream, you listened." Ethan's voice shook. "You're asking me if you're beautiful?" She nodded once. He didn't know what to say, but he knew the truth. "Yes," he whispered, "you are." For a second, the air changed, warmer, lighter. Her shoulders relaxed, but just as quickly the light dimmed. Her expression darkened. "They will come," she said. "Your warships, your leaders. They will see my planet, and they will want it." Ethan felt a knot form in his chest. He knew she was right. "Why did you kneel?" he asked. "Why me?" Her gaze was deep now, unreadable, because beauty means nothing if no one sees it. "You looked, you didn't turn away. That makes you ... different." Suddenly, a loud sound echoed through the valley. Machines, engines. She stood up again, radiant and strong. "They're here." Ethan turned. In the sky, blinking lights approached fast. Human ships. He looked back at the alien queen, confused and afraid. "Wait, what happens now?" Her voice was soft but strong. "Now we test if you meant your words, or if you're just another invader." And with a swirl of light, she vanished. Ethan was alone, but something had changed. He didn't feel small anymore. He felt chosen. And far above, the ships kept coming. The human ships broke through the clouds, glowing with cold blue lights. These weren't rescue ships, they were warships. Big, armed, and ready to take control. Ethan stood frozen on the black rock, still feeling the echo of the alien queen's presence. Her scent was like soft flowers and warm stone. Her voice still rang in his ears. She was gone now, but her words stayed inside him like fire. He didn't know what the queen meant. What test? What did she want him to do? The first ship landed just over the ridge. Dust flew in the air. Soldiers jumped out. Their armor was thick and heavy, faces hidden behind black glass. They moved like machines, quick and sharp. Identify yourself, one shouted. Ethan raised his hands. Junior engineer, Ethan Moore, mining transport crash landed. The commander stepped forward. You're lucky. This place is valuable. We detected energy readings, rare crystal formations. High-tech, might be an ancient alien base. Ethan's heart dropped. He knew exactly what they were sensing. It was the alien queen's home, her palace, her people's last sacred place. Don't touch anything, he said quickly. The commander frowned. Why, it's not abandoned, Ethan replied. Someone's here. They laughed at him. Yeah, you see any aliens? Ethan didn't answer. He just looked past them toward the mountains glowing in the distance. Soon more ships arrived. Scientists, drones, diggers. They set up scanners, machines, and the crystal towers began to hum softly, like they were waking up. Ethan wanted to shout. He wanted to stop them, but he was just one man. No one listened. That night, while the soldiers celebrated, something strange happened. One of the drones went missing, then a guard disappeared. They blamed wild animals or system errors, but Ethan knew better. She was watching. He walked away from the lights and machines, deeper into the dark, toward the glowing pillars. He hoped she would return, and then she did. She stepped out from behind a crystal spire, quiet as a shadow, tall, glowing, beautiful. He didn't stop them, she said. I tried, he whispered. She looked at him, not with anger but with disappointment. They steal, they burn, they don't ask if we are beautiful, they don't even see us. I see you, he said, then prove it. The ground shook again. But it wasn't her power this time. It was machines, big drills. The humans had started digging into the heart of her world. If they break the inner core, she said softly, the soul of my people will be lost forever. Ethan stepped forward. Tell me what to do. She studied him, then reached out her hand. Her fingers were long and soft, glowing slightly. When she touched his forehead, something passed between them. Light, energy, memory. He saw visions of her world before the fall. Her people flying through stars, creating music with light. He saw beauty, peace, and then war. Human war. She pulled her hand back. Now you carry part of me, she said. You can stop this, but not with guns, with truth. What do you mean? But she was already fading again. Back at the camp, alarms were going off. Another drill had exploded. Scientists screamed. Soldiers loaded weapons. Ethan stood at the edge, watching it all. He felt something burning in his chest. Her light, her power. And deep inside, he knew this was the test. Not of strength, but of heart. The camp was in chaos. One of the drilling machines had melted from the inside. No one knew how. Engineers checked every wire, every code, but the metal was just gone, like it had never existed. Soldiers spread out with scanners and weapons. They set traps. They told everyone to stay inside the perimeter. Ethan knew it wouldn't help. The Queen wasn't attacking them. She was warning them, but no one listened. He sat alone near the edge of the camp, thinking about what she showed him, the beauty of her world before it was ruined. She didn't want war. She wanted to be seen, to be remembered, to be respected, and now her people's last home was under threat. He had to do something. Ethan stood up and walked to the command tent inside. The leader of the operation, Captain Rhodes, was staring at a glowing screen. The crystals are reacting to sound, Rhodes said to a group of scientists. There's some kind of signal deep underground. Might be an ancient core reactor. We dig it up, we're rich. Ethan stepped in. You need to stop. Everyone turned. Rhodes raised an eyebrow. Excuse me, there's something alive here, Ethan said. Not just a reactor. A person. A queen. Rhodes scoffed. Are you saying you saw aliens? Yes, Ethan said firmly. She's real. She's watching, and if we don't stop digging, she will fight back. Laughter filled the room. One soldier muttered, looks like the crash messed up his brain. Ethan slammed his fist on the table. I'm not crazy. She could have killed us already. But she didn't. She gave me a chance to speak. To warn you. Rhodes stood up slowly. Then let's say you're right. Let's say there's a 20-foot tall alien queen hiding out there. What does she want? She wants to be seen, Ethan replied. She wants you to stop breaking her world apart. She's the last of her kind. Rhodes looked at him for a long moment. Then he smiled coldly. Then, she's even more valuable. Ethan's blood turned cold. Rhodes continued. Imagine the fame, the money, the power. We bring her back to Earth, study her, control her. She's not a thing, Ethan shouted. She's a queen. But Rhodes was already turning away. That night, Ethan slipped out of the camp. He followed the glowing crystals deep into the dark mountains. The stars above were dim, but the light inside him grew brighter. He could feel her pulling him closer, and then he found her again. She stood in the center of a great hall, surrounded by floating crystals. They hummed softly, like they were singing to her. I tried to warn them, Ethan said. They didn't listen. I know, she whispered. They want to capture you. She didn't move. They always want to own what they don't understand. I won't let them. She turned to him slowly. Her golden eyes were full of sadness and trust. You carry my light now. If they come with guns, I will rise in war. But if you speak for me, I will wait. Ethan nodded. I'll find a way, I swear. Her lips curled slightly, a soft smile. Then maybe you truly do see me. Far away, the human base prepared for a full assault, and Ethan, with no weapon but truth in his heart, stepped back into the night ready to face them all. The sun rose over Zalarian with a soft orange glow, but the human camp felt nothing like morning. It felt like war. Captain Rhodes ordered the heavy machines toward the glowing mountains. Drones buzzed in the sky. Soldiers marched with rifles ready. Scanners locked onto heat signatures in the crystal fields. They were hunting her. Ethan ran alongside the convoy, trying again. You can't do this, he said to Rhodes. She hasn't attacked anyone. She gave me a chance to speak. Rhodes didn't even look at him. And now I'm giving her a chance to surrender. She's not going to surrender. She's trying to protect what's left of her people. Rhodes smirked. She's alone, son. The rest of her people are dust. Ethan clenched his fists. She's not alone. Not anymore. But his words didn't stop them. They moved into the Valley of Crystal Towers. The alien queen stood at the far end, tall and still, her silver-white hair flowing in the wind, her armor glowing faintly. She didn't run. She didn't hide. She waited. Ethan rushed ahead of the soldiers. Please don't do this, he shouted. Rhodes raised his hand. The soldiers stopped. A tense silence filled the air. Then Rhodes stepped forward, slowly, calmly. He raised a loudspeaker to his mouth. We come in peace, he said. Step forward and submit. We will not harm you if you cooperate. The queen tilted her head. Her voice echoed across the valley, calm yet strong. You dress your lies in soft words, but your hands carry weapons. Rhodes grinned. We need protection. We're explorers. She looked past him, directly at Ethan. Is this your way? Ethan stepped between them. No, this isn't my way. I told them not to come. The queen lowered her head slightly. Then the crystals around her began to glow brighter. The ground started to hum. Last warning, Rhodes said. Stand down, or we'll take you by force. The queen raised her hand slowly. The crystals floated higher. The energy in the air thickened. Ethan ran toward her. Wait, please don't fight them, they'll shoot. She didn't move. Ethan turned back to Rhodes. You're about to start a war you can't win. Rhodes laughed. She's one alien. We have an army, Ethan shouted. She's not just one alien, she's the last queen of a forgotten empire. She controls the living crystals of this world. If she fights back, she could tear us all apart. Rhodes didn't care. He gave the order, fire, but nothing happened. The guns didn't work, the lights blinked, the machine shut down, the crystals, who had absorbed the energy, and then, one by one, the weapons began to melt quietly, slowly, like they were turning to water. Soldiers panicked. They dropped their gear. Some ran. Others screamed. Ethan stood still. The queen stepped forward, her voice calm. I will not destroy you, but I will not let you destroy me. Rhodes fell to his knees, stunned. How are you doing this? She looked at Ethan again because he believed I was beautiful, and I believed he was kind. With a wave of a hand, the machines shut down completely. The war ended before it began. Ethan turned to Rhodes. Now will you listen? Rhodes didn't answer. He had nothing left to say. The alien queen stood tall beside Ethan, not as a weapon, not as a prize, but as a being who had finally been seen. The soldiers didn't know what to do. Their guns were gone. Their machines were useless. Some sat down on the ground in silence. Others looked around, waiting for a command. But Captain Rhodes had none to give. His voice was gone. His power was gone. Ethan stepped beside him. She could have killed us, he said, but she didn't. She showed mercy. Rhodes didn't answer. The alien queen turned toward the glowing crystal field. Leave now, she said. Take nothing, and I will let your people go unharmed. Rhodes slowly stood up, and if we return, her golden eyes locked on his. Next time I won't kneel. The captain gave the retreat signal. One by one, the soldiers began moving back to the ships. Ethan stayed behind. So did the queen when they were alone again. The silence returned, soft, peaceful. Ethan looked up at her. You scared them. She looked down, almost like she was sorry. I only protected what was mine. You had every reason to destroy us, he said, but you didn't. I remembered your eyes, she replied. The way you looked at me, like I was more than a monster. You're not a monster. You're the most beautiful being I've ever seen. For the first time, she smiled, not sad, not weak, but warm and bright. Ethan sat on a nearby rock. What happens now? The queen stepped closer. Her armor shimmered in the sunlight. Now, you must choose. Choose what to go with them, or stay here with me. Ethan looked at the horizon. The ships were leaving. He knew Earth would ask questions. They would want reports, answers, maybe revenge. If he went back, they might erase everything he saw, but if he stayed, he looked at her again, tall, radiant and strange, but also kind, honest and full of light. I don't know if I belong here, he whispered. She reached down and her giant hand hovered near him. Then let me show you. He touched her hand. Her skin was warm and soft, glowing gently. In that moment he felt everything, her memories, her loneliness, her strength, and her heart. She had ruled stars once. She had lost everything, but still, she stood strong. He closed his eyes and nodded. I'll stay. She lifted him gently and placed him on a crystal platform that rose with her. Together, they walked back into the glowing halls of her ancient palace. As they moved through the light, her voice echoed beside him. Do you really think I'm beautiful? She asked again so softly. Ethan looked up at her, smiling now. Yes, and I think maybe you're not the only one who feels alone. That didn't answer, but her smile said everything. Above them, the stars slowly returned, and in the silence of that world, a new story began of trust, of hope, and something deeper, something like love. Days passed. Then weeks. The human ships never returned. Some said the mission was lost. Others whispered about a deadly alien force guarding a hidden world. Earth grew silent about Solarian, afraid of another failure. They left it off the star maps, pretending it never existed, but Ethan was still there, and he was no longer just a visitor. The alien queen taught him her language, not with words, but with light, memory, and feeling. She showed him the glowing halls of her palace, the music of the crystals, and the ancient stories hidden in the stones. Her world was not empty, it was alive, full of quiet power, and Ethan listened. He learned that her name was Vera, the last queen of the ancient race that once ruled peacefully across galaxies, before war and fear wiped them away. He helped her rebuild, not with machines or weapons, but with patience, with care, with heart. They walked together through ruined temples, restoring old songs that woke the lights. They planted glowing seeds that grew into new crystal towers. Slowly, the land healed. And so did she. One night, as they stood on a cliff overlooking the valley, she turned to him. "You stayed," she said. "I gave my word. I thought your kind only took." He smiled. "I'm not like them." She studied him for a moment, her golden eyes soft in the starlight. "I believed beauty was only skin," she said. "But now, I understand. True beauty is when someone sees your pain and stays anyway." Ethan reached out and touched her hand. "Then you've always been beautiful." She knelt before him again just as she had the first time. But this time, she didn't ask if he thought she was beautiful. She already knew. And this time, Ethan didn't look at her with fear or confusion. He stepped closer, placed his hand on her cheek and whispered, "You're not alone anymore." From that night forward, the palace lights glowed warmer, brighter. The planet itself seemed to breathe again. The last queen of a forgotten world no longer stood in silence. She stood with him, and across the stars a new legend was born, not of war or conquest, but of a human who saw beauty in something no one else understood, and loved it enough to stay.